Okay, December 10th, LocalWorks.
I move to adopt the agenda.
Okay, anyone second?
Sure, second.
Okay, any nays? Okay, adopt agenda. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. What? Spare man.
This is really low on ink as well.
We can get you one. Sorry.
So while you're working that out, I'm going to move to adopt the minutes too.
Okay, did everyone get the minutes that I sent yesterday? Sorry that they were
Here's
late. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you. So it's Kathy and Denise for the adopting.
I'll second the minutes.
And that was the 11/26. Was it? The last one.
Well, that's
Okay.
Yeah, you know what, on this, just on the agenda, it says the 25th. No big deal.
Okay.
That's just on the agenda though.
Well, maybe it was a 20. Whatever.
No, it's 25th.
It was 20.
I'm looking at it right here.
Okay. Okay, so let's start talking about this. No public speaking? No? Okay.
No problem here.
No public here. Were we going to move the LocalWorks logo?
We talked about it. I thought it was really weird not to have that look. When I made it, when I looked, I did a draft without it, and it looked like everyone else had a logo but us. My personal thought was that on the cover, to give ourselves credit and not just the sponsors.
Well, it should be someplace else though, I think, because it looks as though these are all the same. And they're not. These kind of make up LocalWorks.
Okay, I'll give it another. I'll give it another crack.
We could have it be up at the top.
I'll make another crack at it. And
I have an idea.
I mean, typically the way that these reports look is like the cover page is the author and the title and that group, and like the sponsors are usually included in the second page or acknowledgements or something like that.
LocalWorks is the entity.
LocalWorks is the entity.
So if we remove them, I would move them all to the second page.
I don't think we need to do that.
I think it's weird to have the logos of logos of the groups who were peripherally involved and not.
Okay, so we'll keep the LocalWorks logo, but let's put it up at the top. And we could shrink these down a little
two
bit and lower
circles?
that a little bit.
2 circles, so it's LocalWorks and then the East Hampton logo, and then underneath that can be City Arts Chamber and...
That's true, those the three of them all lined up.
This way for some people.
Okay.
Okay.
Or we can make it like a satellite with LocalWorks big and then the other ones around it small.
I mean, does someone else want to take care of the cover? I mean, I can.
I can. I'll take care of the cover. Will you send me the file?
Sure, it's just a Word document, so.
Okay. Yeah. We were originally thinking that. Having it on the second page.
Yeah.
At the bottom. And since it says LocalWorks, right?
Terribly sorry, I'm
Right.
like,
So I just thought it looked really weird to have,
walk in there.
not have our logo on it, and then to have City Arts and the Chamber and these other logos, because it looked like we weren't involved and that the report was coming from those 4 organizations.
Even though it says
Even though it
LocalWorks.
says it, because the logos are what get your eyes.
Okay. I'll do the cover and I'll keep LocalWorks logo on.
I mean, I'm happy to redo it, I just,
You've
I'd rather...
got a lot on your plate though, so.
I mean, whatever. It's the covers, in my opinion, right now where I want to not be focusing on.
Okay, good. So I'll do the cover.
Yeah.
That's great.
Hello.
Sorry I'm running late.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, so I like the fact that we've got the URL. So that's great.
It's okay.
I'd like to share too. So acknowledgements.
Hasn't changed, I don't think.
You added Jim. You added James.
Right.
I'm not sure. Maybe
I hate that. I'm not going to be picky, but after me, you have the executive director. Should that be of the Greater East Hampton Chamber of Commerce? Not-
Yeah. Or comma, Greater East.
Well, we've got of on here, and we've got of here, and the other few different places.
Yeah, that should be changed to probably.
All right.
Why don't we just change everything else 4?
No.
Just kidding. Let's, discussion?
Mission statement hasn't changed. That's right. So we have from last week, the big ideas section will become a continuation of the executive summary, right?
I'm sorry, can I just ask a quick question? Are we leaving in question 15, question 16, those things, or are they
No, they're struck out, but they're just here for reference, so.
for us for reference?
They'll
Okay.
be removed before this becomes finalized.
Yep.
But just so we can reference them.
Trends and supporting data. And so were we taking that out because it was already in the executive summary?
I'm sorry, where are you?
Yeah, you need to.
Well,
Two?
Page 2.
Wait, no, page 4, page 4 of 24.
Yeah. Those are already, those things that are crossed out are in the
Executive
executive summary.
That was my question.
Yeah. I think you've done a good job.
And I'm just keeping track of the fact that we're
They
gonna,
were at one time.
that they were there and
Good job.
they will be removed. And then adding though is that traffic congestion parking report for Denise and Eric, and then I'm gonna try to find some traffic count data as well.
Where are you now?
Same page 4. Under stated consumer needs.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw lines and didn't see.
But again, those won't actually be in that section there. They'll be moved to later in the report.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
And consumer commitment to the action of buying local, what's going to go in there?
I don't know. We had,
Thumbs up.
I mean, that was mostly like, would you buy, if this was available, would you buy it locally? I mean,
Do we have that question in there later?
I don't have a graph for it yet.
But we may not necessarily need it up here. We have it later on in the report.
But that's the placeholder for where it would go.
Okay,
when it
perfect.
gets put in,
Okay, perfect.
if we want to put it in.
I
It's
think we should put it
it's
in.
stated in the consumer commitment to the, I mean, I guess so you could integrate, I guess, the key findings are basically these bullets.
That's true.
So if you want to just put the headers, the headers in under the bullets, so that it would say key findings from the survey show that bullet, consumer commitment to the action of buying local. Most consumers understand the need to shop locally and will prefer to buy locally, provided that the goods and services were available.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Not sure we need that other part that, okay.
I mean, I was just trying to show how the report, the rest of the report is then going to be structured, so it doesn't... What's that?
Either way.
Okay.
Just like, if like people want to keep these stated consumer needs, because it's sort of like, this is what this section is. That was the hammer on the head.
I really like the way you put it in graphs. They look great.
It does look great.
Is this
Who's gonna open up a bakery is what I want
They
to
already have one. There's
Yeah.
only one coming.
Union Street?
Oh, sweet.
Small oven.
But there's also another one that opened up about 6 weeks ago.
There's that
Also
food
sold
truck
yogurt.
one too, right?
The cupcake. But there's also one that's in the plaza that has the auto.
It's not a real bakery though, is it?
It's a bakery and yogurt store. Yeah.
Yogurt
Not
store,
a
like
bread bakery.
yogurt?
It's not a
Yeah.
bread bakery.
No, like pastries and things like that.
Cupcakes.
Yeah.
They ship them in or they're actually making them?
I think they're going to make them there.
It's more like a dessert bakery.
Right, yeah. Which will be nice because it won't necessarily compete with small oven. Where is small oven going to be?
Somebody told me it was where the...
Where Rick's was originally,
Right, okay.
Oh, okay.
Perfect for you.
kitty
or-
corner across from us. Oh, yeah, that's just what I need.
You're gonna
She has Shelburne got there?
get them in the chamber
Yes.
as soon as possible.
Shelburne looks great now. Just there, actually.
That will, by the way, compete with Small Oven. Small Oven will be a bakery. as
Just
well.
Shelburne Falls.
Yeah. The other one you were talking about before, pastries. and
There
all.
will be some overlap, but not on a core basis.
Okay, so page 11, buying habits of consumers, you're going to put that into, and then the next page, depth of awareness.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if it...
I'm just,
Sorry.
I'm
Why don't you go ahead then and let's do
Oh,
that?
well, it's interesting as we're talking about this bakery and how that was one of the biggest, we might add on a footnote, it's interesting to note that in the time since we have conducted our survey and et cetera, that there's actually 2 bakeries have come, so it shows that these strong demands almost percolate subconsciously through East Hampton residents.
Can you do something like that?
I don't know if that's a question. I've been saying it loudly.
Right, but it might be worth noting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just a little parenthesis after that. Note, since the time that this was conducted, 2 bakeries have opened up.
Or about to be opening.
Yeah.
bakeries since the survey.
I'm sorry, where are you gonna put that?
I'm just putting it under page 6,
State of consumer.
where it says bakeries, and then it's going to say bakeries in parentheses. Since the survey was published, 2 bakeries they haven't opened, right?
One
One has and one hasn't.
One is about to.
Small Oven is in March,
Oh, is it that late?
when they are doing this, but they're not going to open the storefront.
Okay. Well, we could say 2.
Well, actually, they,
2 bakeries have
they
started
do
their
have
business.
a bakery. It's just out of their house still,
No, it's out of Nini's Kitchen.
and their house.
And their
They
house,
came in business, so I mean, they're open. They just don't have a storefront.
Well, so we'll say are doing business now.
2 bakeries have
Started doing business in East Hampton.
started doing business.
Conducting.
Since the survey was published, 2 bakeries have started up.
Perfect.
Is that okay? Started up?
Yeah.
Is that hard grammatically though? Two bakeries have opened up. There we go.
Have committed to open?
2 bakeries have opened
There you go.
since the...
Did anybody happen to see the webathon this weekend?
The weatherthon?
Oh. Just curious.
CCAT thing. Seventh party.
No, I didn't, I'm sorry.
Performance artist. Webathon. CCAT. Sorry. It's okay. You can catch it online.
Okay, well. Any other thoughts?
There was some discussion about on the length of time living in East Hampton to consolidate it somehow. The people who've been living here 85 to 89 years, like these, it's hard to distinguish what that is. It's less than 2%. Maybe we should just consolidate that.
What page I'm sorry?
Like 50 plus?
19. Although I guess it's really worth, if we could see what number that was of people.
The very first row, the 0 to 4 group.
I guess it's just percentage-wise, if you look at 85 to 89, 80 to 84, these are up the high end, the people who've lived here their whole lives probably.
Yeah.
Percentage-wise, in terms of the number that we had of survey respondents, That's, how many was that? It was quite, what, like 2 or 3, or one that took the survey that was 89, or?
Probably. I don't think we really need the actual number, though, because that gives you the idea, though.
Yeah, it's small.
Yeah, it's very small. So maybe we should try and pin down exactly what needs to be done.
Excuse me.
Why do we have 2 respondents' age
Yeah.
ranges?
Page 20.
I wanted to show both to the committee. I thought there was a request to put it in groups of 5 rather than groups of 10. So I put both in.
Oh, okay, because we had length of time in these Tampa groups of 5, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe be consistent with the group, the length of time, maybe we should do in 5s?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you need to consolidate it.
No, I'm just saying, do we need both?
No, we don't.
No.
You were planning on both.
No,
Okay.
I just wanted to know which the committee wanted to see.
I vote for the lower one, the 5 years.
Yeah, so it's more consistent with this one here.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Do we need to vote? Or can we just-
No, we can just do it by consensus.
Okay. Do
Sounds
you want to
good.
write, should we write these down somewhere? So you probably can't make all the changes that we're talking about while we're doing it. Can you?
I'm doing that and making comments, so
Okay.
where it's something that I can't do.
Okay.
Hey, we have 1% other gender identity.
Yeah. I saw at least 2 people that either said both or left it blank. So, the little lines on the starts of the paragraphs.
That's because it's showing that there's a comment there,
Okay.
that it would be deleted.
Those will be good. Okay. Good.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Sweet. That's good.
Well, I think by and large this looks great.
Great.
So our next step, we wanted to try and get this out as soon as we can, but we'll have to look at it one more time, I'm sure. Do we have a meeting in 2 weeks?
Nope. Christmas Eve.
That's good to see. Okay.
I mean, can we just move forward with it? Because I mean, we made all the changes, right?
They're still blanks. I mean, do you want to see them?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to
Blanks
see.
in terms of consumer commitment to the action of buying local.
Yeah, and I'd like to see it with these not. We should see it in its final state.
Okay. I mean, but I'm saying, do we need to schedule a meeting? But can we just look at that? Can we just share it?
PDF it, or?
Yeah, PDF it out.
You can't legally do that.
We're not supposed to do that.
I mean, there's no, it's a report coming from this committee. There's no requirement that.
To vote.
I mean, if the committee wants to vote on this is the final report and make it official, then yes, that's probably a good idea.
Well, we can't take action. Unless
What about we take the action that says after all these changes, including these forthcoming changes, this is now the final approved product to be released, and then
You can do that, but do you want to do that?
unless there's some objection.
I'm not sure. I would like to actually.
What about if we say, in case, then when Jamie emails it out, and then unless someone has, finds something that needs to be fixed or changed, then that could be released, because it's going to probably take us a week or more to kind of formulate how we're going to release that. But put it on the Facebook or put it on the website, make a page to release it, to announce it around.
Yeah. Is it feasible that we could be done in a week?
At the end of the year.
Actually,
I can't meet again next week.
you can't meet them. Okay. It'll be January then, I guess. Well, so you can send it out to us. That's all done. I'll send you the cover.
Can we as a committee designate someone as the contact to represent the committee's interests and vote to approve this survey with the changes that we've just discussed? So, for example, can we designate Josh, since you're going to change the layout of the first page anyway, to just whatever little blank sections are? I mean, we can trust you to approve that, correct? Without the need. So
Right.
the purpose is to not delay the release of this
Right.
survey, which is already a year in the making,
Yeah.
another month or two, because the holidays are here and everybody is
Yeah.
screwed for time.
I'm fine with that, if everyone else is fine with that.
I'm good with it.
Can we do that?
It's up to the committee, I mean.
Yeah, we could designate
we
one
don't have
person to be the
rules
final
that-
eyes.
That state how we have
Does
to-
that work for you, Jamie?
I mean, I'm gonna make a final draft, and then if I give it to the committee and the committee wants to delegate all of their responsibility to one person, that's fine by me.
Well, it just is,
Well, no, not the one page, the whole thing.
no, I mean, in this matter.
Oh, in this matter, right, yeah. I'm fine with that.
I mean, I just think it's kind of more important for it to come out than we all have a consensus over whether to use a capital
I
on
agree.
page 20.
And see, that way we could use the next half an hour to really talk about strategy, so we can really do something before the holiday.
Right, right.
Okay.
But we've got some other stuff to add too.
The comment section.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I have done some, but I've, to be honest with you, I got a little confused on some of this. I'd be curious to see what you come up with here, Denise.
I did the paragraph synopsis on the parking and the congestion, and then pulled quotes to sum it up. And you were pulling quotes for the department store, the direction of the city, hotel and bakery, and food and beverage,
Okay.
which we could do real quick right now if you want.
You know, actually only 2 comments about hotels. Food and beverage. And I had, generally, I don't know if that's, I don't think I got all those done on the general comments. So how did you define that? I'm sorry.
Define what, I'm sorry?
The general comments, you had talked about, and we need to rewind here a second, or I do with you. There are 3 things that I had general comments of which I'd be honest, I've got only through about 3 pages because it could have been everything in the world. That kind of stuff.
I don't understand what you're doing.
See, that's what I was wondering, that's where I was,
We had discussed just pulling some
yeah, the
quotes.
arts walks, department store, hotel, bakery, food and beverage.
Right, okay, so just pulling quotes that you thought summed up the general idea of, like, say, the arts or a department store in East Hampton.
Okay.
And we were going to put those within the actual survey.
All right, those I have.
Okay. All right. I was writing the synopsis, a paragraph synopsis of the parking and congestion, since it wasn't in our survey.
Oh, right, okay, got it, okay. So
And then I pulled a quote on that to
No, okay.
sum it up.
I think that's wicked good, Denise, thank you.
So we want to...
It's valid, the parking is valid, so.
So,
So I think what we'll do is we'll just ignore that very first section of it. We can choose what we want to.
Thanks.
Wait a minute. No, I got it.
Can you send me a digital version of this as well, so I can put it in?
you don't need to yet.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
going to...
Right now?
Yeah.
You're gonna edit it, we're gonna edit it, and
Yeah.
then send me the next one.
Doesn't say anything in the general comment, we'll just...
Should be a space between has and gone in the first.
So you've edited these down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are just ones that we want you to choose from.
Okay.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I've gone through. These are some that I've taken out of the comments section.
Right.
Okay.
Don't worry about general, you're not reading that. You're going for arts, we're trying to pull a quote.
But you don't want to conclude all of them? You just want to have 1 or 2?
Yeah. We talked about it last week. All of them would be too much.
Well, one,
We could just
under
introduce-
arts, the first one,
If we just interspersed throughout the surveys.
Throughout the...
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, just
So,
little...
should we choose 2 from each category?
If we think there's enough room, sure.
Can you remind me of what we're using how we're using the comments now? They're being interspersed
comments?
with the,
In the actual
questions.
survey.
They're going to be there to kind of like highlight.
Like in a little sidebar or in a little bubble kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, each one, so like, before we started, after 13, before we started 14, we would just have a quote here.
okay.
Okay, so maybe one from each then.
Well, there'll be more, like the one on bakeries, food and beverage could be one or two. We have a couple, I guess,
One or two quotes for the question, or they could go to one or two questions?
like there's different places that they could go and it could be useful.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
So let's pick.
Okay.
Let's pick. I agree, Kathy. I think the first one for arts is a great one.
I like the first and the last for the arts,
Yeah.
because I think it's constructive.
Mhm.
You said the first and the last?
Yeah. I would like to see all the shops open for art walks.
I just like to avoid the Mass Live type comments.
But I mean, like, you take this one that East Hampton needs much more than the arts, and you put that in, a section about retail business, that makes sense too.
But that's kind of a negative comment.
But that's, but that's out of context. Now it's putting it in a context that it wasn't supposed to be applied
Well,
to.
these were just general comments at the end of the survey, right?
No, these were after questions, after specific questions.
No, these were all taken from
these are all
this.
in the general comment section.
Oh, did we write down any of the things that people wrote in on the specific questions?
There weren't.
There
No.
wasn't any,
Well, I know I answered. I know I typed quite a few. Can you say other, and people write in with the other? Okay.
We didn't look at those.
Okay. I agree, though, that the East Hampton needs much more than the arts. It has a negative tone to it.
Okay.
And I'd rather not see negative things in there.
What's also non-specific? Like, what does that mean? It needs much.
But that's the thing, a
What?
lot of these weren't as specific as you would think
I mean,
they
That's
would.
what
They could have much more than the arts.
I don't think I
That's
can
not
find a whole lot
really.
off of 300 comments. There's only a few that are good
68 and all.
everyone agrees with the first
for
one.
our purposes.
Yeah, okay, so let's go to
Some of them are
department
quite
store now.
humorous, but we don't necessarily need them.
Again, the first one is pretty good.
I think the second one's good too, and we could take out like the first part of it, just say, dot, dot, quotation, dot, dot, dot. I need to do more patronizing, however you want to say that. I need to do more to patronize our artists. They're a wonderful draw for East Hampton. We don't need the first part. Looking at my responses to the survey makes me realize.
Well, I mean, like okay, so I'm going to keep with the first and last one under department store.
Yeah, what are we talking about? What, department stores?
Oh,
Moving through, because we,
We never decided on the second one for the arts.
I thought we liked the first and last.
We didn't agree on that.
Let's vote.
I said it, so we don't need to agree. Just go with
That's
it.
true, that's true. I'm sorry, Kathy said it. You're right, you're right.
oh, sorry.
First one, I move to adopt the first and last under the arts
Yeah.
subheading.
I don't really necessarily want to mention Art Walk in both of them. I
That's
think
true.
It's nice to make
Yeah.
them say something different.
I see
I
Denise's
feel like there
point.
was more comments about the arts than this, though. You filtered out some of them already, right?
Yeah, I just took the ones that seemed to be.
Well, then do the first and second. I just think the shops is like more of an economic tie. Like, so if consumers are saying, oh, I wish more shops were open during art walks. I mean, because it was, that part of the survey was designed for art walk, right?
Well, but the first one is so good. And I wouldn't want to lose that to get the second one.
And so what if you want to see all the shops open for Art Walk? I mean, no, I'm not trying to offend the person that wrote it, but, it's not up to you.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
No, it's not, but it is customer feedback, is that's all I'm saying. It's valid customer
Well,
feedback.
you'll see too that just to hop, I don't want to move away from this, but there are two comments under the food, bakeries, food, beverage that talk about, like, wish we had places that are open past 5.
Right.
And it doesn't necessarily have to do with Art Walk, but just in general.
I tell you what, I'm going to propose first and second for the arts. And if anyone wants to second it, then we can vote on it. And if you want first and fourth vote, no.
Let's go through item by item. Let's go through the candidates and whoever gets the most, okay, so that we don't have to
Okay.
do a vote
Okay,
for
yeah.
first and fourth, and then another vote for
Okay,
fifth.
how many people want the first one as one of them?
Ooh,
Like the first one.
okay.
I'm not gonna vote.
He's not here.
I don't want, I think that anything
Okay.
you guys choose, all of these are fine. and-
He's not a member of the...
So for the second
Jamie's just
one,
counting like
for the second one,
time until she's done.
for the second an abbreviated version of the second one, we're not going to make it to get it done today, by the way. For all who want an abbreviated version of the second one, raise their hand.
Does it have to be abbreviated?
Well, we're taking
Well, I mean,
the responses,
we should-
It doesn't have to
I'm
be
looking at
just
my
time-wise.
responses.
I mean, just space-wise.
Now, theoretically, we should each only vote for two. Right. I mean, if we're going to try and
can all vote for
finish this before 2015, I think we should try to get something done. Okay. How many people for the second one? 3, 4, okay. How many people for the third one?
Oh, me.
And how many people for the fourth one?
Oh, no. Sorry, I want to rescind my vote and save it for the fourth one, because I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, so the fourth one.
Number 1 and number 2.
Number 1 and number 2. Okay. So let's go through the department store ones.
How about the first?
I don't like it.
But do we want something that supports the conclusions voted in the report, or want something general comment?
Well, I like the first and the last one.
Yeah.
Personally.
And was the consensus in the survey that we don't need a department store? I don't think it was. So the first one says we don't, is calling for no department store. Well, I would vote against the first one.
I didn't get the sense that people wanted a department store.
Well, no, but they want to be able to shop. They want to be able to buy things that they can't buy in town. Like socks, underwear, and pants.
Right.
So,
But there's a kind of a divide between people who want the big box and those who may not.
well, I don't necessarily want a big box.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, is there such a thing as a department store which is not a big box anymore?
Yeah.
I think the last one was a good one.
They're
Yes, I
rare
like
examples,
that.
and they're dinosaurs, and they don't compete in today's economy, and no one's building new ones.
Yeah.
Right, so, no, then I would just vote for the no. I mean, I know of like one. One department store that's a local department store.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just try to keep all the comments that we choose for the report positive sounding ones. And then we can always have an appendix online with all the comments that people might want to read through.
I like that. Hi, Mike. Okay, so let's go through and vote. First one for department store. Anyone who wants to raise their hand.
I'm gonna vote for the first one.
Because that's negative, it's saying no, we don't want to use comments.
So don't vote for it then.
But let's just, I propose that we vote, outside of any of these comments, none of the comments that we should even consider should be negative sounding
I agree.
for the report.
Can we
So we don't need to
maybe vote
consider
and
this.
then
Yeah.
see what gets chosen, and if
Yeah.
it's really negative, we
Okay.
can have arguments against it.
Okay, question 2. Give this town a department store and restaurants good so we don't have to leave town for just about everything.
That's negative. I think that's incredible.
Does anyone vote for that one?
No.
Okay. I miss having a store like Ames here in town.
Those in Southampton.
Sentimental.
Does anyone vote for it?
No.
Okay. I would not like to see East Hampton's growth to include more national chain big box stores, strip malls, etc. I vote for that one.
Okay.
Could we reword it a little bit?
No.
No.
So it says, like,
No, we can't, because then we're changing their comments. And then we can't have quotes after it.
But that's in a way, that's almost a negative comment. They're saying that they...
Almost.
Yeah.
So we
But
get
it's
3
not-
votes on that one?
It's not a negative attitude. It's maybe anti-box store, but it's not necessarily negative. It's not like, it's not
Okay,
reflecting
no, that's,
crappy
yeah, that's
attitude.
fine, that's fine.
You know,
I'm okay with that.
So anyone who wants that one, I would not like to see East Hampton's growth to include more national chains. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's all, okay. General department store would be great to have in town like Target. Any takers for that? Okay. We absolutely need a department store. Example, Target, Walmart, or Marshalls. Anyone want that? Okay. We desperately need clothing stores, shoe stores, and a decent discount department store. All 5, okay. So the 2 that we're going to use from that are the 4th one and the last one. I would not like to see East Hampton's growth to include more national chains, big box stores, strip malls, etc. And the last one.
Right, is that, okay, so do we not, we didn't want the first one because it was negative? Is that the,
Yes.
I think between the two,
think it was
talking
nice.
about chains, I would not like to see East Hampton's growth is slightly less
it's less effective than the
problematic.
first one?
Well,
But see, we decided that we would vote.
I mean, to
And
preserve its small character.
We should do that. We should stick with what we decided on. Let's,
But I guess, okay, that's fine.
cats and kitties, this meeting's going to end in 18 minutes.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, hotel, etc. There are 2 comments.
Just go with
I like them both. So just one?
Yeah,
just one.
Okay.
Basically the same.
Bakeries, food and beverage.
which one?
Which, I'm sorry.
Can
The
I
category, the bakeries, food and beverage
Can
category.
I ask a question about these comments?
Sure.
Is it the same gluten-free person? Is it the
No,
same
these are-
comments? So
these
there's
are-
multiple people about the gluten-free?
These are multiple,
Okay.
correct, these are not the same person.
I
It's the
just did
same
one.
person.
I answered one that was all about like every comment field was gluten-free. You know, so I was just curious.
Once again, these are just what was in the
I think I know who that might be.
additional comment sections at the back.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and for the first one, take it for the first one.
Ken
Okay.
has a chance to look through all of them first.
I'm sorry, you're right. Okay.
I know Rhino Coffee Stores stay open past 8.
Okay. Can I give a couple general comments? The last one, I'm not really fond of because, it's open past 8. Isn't Shelburne Falls now open past 8?
I think only on the weekends.
Okay.
I think it's weekdays, certain weekdays. like-
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, is it?
I got kicked out of there at 5 o'clock in the summer. It's,
Well, they since have put in their beer and wine, the beer and wine, and this has happened in the last couple months.
Keep moving, keep moving.
And my other comment is the 4th one, we need affordable lunch and dinner places, and gluten-free and vegetarian options. We have those already. I think Silver Spoon and the diner, East Hampton Diner, are about as affordable as you're going to get.
yeah, I guess.
And we also have gluten-free and vegetarian options.
Yeah, Kathy's, Christine's is-
Christine's is almost all vegetarian. So,
But that's only one place. That's,
Yeah,
no, but
one
that's one place that's exclusively vegetarian. Apollo's
So
got
can I-
lots of vegetarian
Gluten-free
options.
stuff.
Can I remind everyone what the trends were from bakeries and restaurants? Bakeries, food, and beverages was that people wanted more bakeries, ethnic restaurants, upscale restaurants, family restaurants, and sandwich and deli shops. So
Okay.
the comments should reflect that, would be my guess.
Okay.
I think the first one is a good candidate because there was a lot of gluten-free comments on those surveys.
Okay. How many hands for the first one? Yours, right?
Well,
Kathy?
I was just giving a little
Okay.
feedback there. You gonna push me on it? Yeah.
No, okay. Second one, store that sold Whole Foods like cornucopia, etc.
That's a good one.
There
Yeah,
was,
I like that.
I mean, specialty, in retail, specialty
Yeah.
grocery stores came up as a
Maybe yes,
positive
please.
trend.
Yes, it's a yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's unanimous.
Yeah.
The next one's good.
I think it would be great if at least one coffee shop would be open past 5. I like that.
I like it, but does it,
Can we do this just the second half of that? I believe having at least one or two businesses open beyond 5, but
Yes, yeah.
just
So-
the second part, but keeping
I vote for the second part of that one.
yes.
Yes.
coffee.
But just be devil's advocate here, what Jamie just read to us, this doesn't really address as far as what the trends were.
Also,
It doesn't say what it is what you're saying.
I'm going to make a case for it's fine to take excerpts, but not if it takes things out of context. So,
Well, there's already a ... and I'm just taking the second half of it.
Well, that's mine.
I know.
Okay.
So
Right.
clearly it's already,
but if somebody's referring specifically to a coffee shop, juice bar, or bagel shop, I think they're probably referring to that for a reason, because they might be in a special club, but they don't want to be in a place that serves beer and wine. So I'm just saying like that, maybe,
Yeah, I think we could use it in its entirety. We have the room.
and it's also formatted in a positive way, which is
Yeah.
that it would be nice. A quiet nightlife would be nice. I mean,
Okay.
it's at least, it's good feedback, so.
Should we take 2 votes, one of it a bridge, just the second half, and one of it the whole thing?
No, let's just do it if there's room, if there's not.
Okay. How many people, is that a unanimous one? Everyone like that one?
Yes.
You can't do, okay.
That's it then. You have two.
If that one doesn't fit, I'd say we just go for the last one. Bakery and coffee place with tables and Wi-Fi.
Okay, if that one doesn't fit, okay. Okay, I don't think we're going to be able to talk about the strategy, unfortunately.
But it not, but Denise has other stuff that goes still in this part. We didn't.
Okay,
Which I can send digitally. The paragraph goes, although not directly addressed in the survey, the lack of adequate public parking and heavy traffic congestion on Cottage, Union, and Main Streets were commented on frequently enough in the responses that we thought it pertinent to mention.
well done.
Pulled out
Oh,
quotes.
Okay.
were we going to
Do you want to
do
read the quotes and we'll decide which ones?
The quotes that I pulled out were, need better parking opportunities, maybe a mini parking garage behind one cottage or at 50 Payson. Possibly make Cottage Street one way, the opposite way to avoid parking problems, or at 50 Payson. Possibly make Cottage Street and Maple Street one way, the opposite way to avoid parking problems. Second quote, I did a quotation, ... I took out part of it. But traffic problems are causing backups that need attention on Main Street and Union Street. The third is should allow parking only on one side of Cottage Street, same on Union.
I like the first and third. And by the way, I think what you wrote is great.
can you read your initial paragraph again?
Although not directly addressed in the survey, the lack of adequate public parking and heavy traffic congestion on Cottage, Union, and Main Streets were commented on frequently enough in the responses that we thought it pertinent to mention.
That's good.
My only concern is how frequently was it commented?
Well, if they're frequently in parentheses, we could just say not commented on enough, or were commented on enough.
Yeah, I just, because I know that there's...
Frequently, sometimes, as you're saying, frequently sometimes means that it was a preponderance of the response.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know at one point we had looked and like parking was not a reason why people were shopping elsewhere.
So just enough?
So I would, yeah.
And the quotes?
I like the first and the third.
I've got my next business plan now. Hotel, the parking garage.
Okay.
And maybe you could say like these quotes don't, or are sampling and don't, maybe,
Well, that's one of the ways with all of them. We just want to, or we could just use...
but I guess what I'm feeling, I want to, I know that it's important to mention the parking because it showed up in the comments and something that we feel is important. I like what you've written. I would like to make it not seem as though that was like something that clearly came out of the survey that everyone was, we need more parking, we need more parking, we need more parking.
I don't think it's coming across that way.
I'm afraid that it could be interpreted that way. And that we have it, because we didn't actually ask the questions about parking and because we didn't, I want to say that it like, I like.
In other words, someone reading the survey that may be a prospective business person, you don't want them reading that saying, oh, there's a parking problem in East Hampton.
Right. Well, would you feel comfortable if it was just the paragraph?
That's true, but also the fact that we didn't ask about it, we could put a lot of things that we kind of conclude and add those to our analysis, but it didn't really come from the survey. So why not just add those comments as part of the comments, is parking garage, without couching it in this big description, because it really wasn't part of our focus. If we had wanted to ask about parking so we could have concluded something more hard and factual about it, we should have. Yeah. Is that what you're saying, kind of, Jim?
No.
Okay.
No, you're saying that it's
I'm just saying we should include it.
It's not bad to include it.
I'm saying we should include it. I like the quotes. I like the paragraph. I think another sentence that says that this isn't based off of, that it's a little bit more wishy-washy, that it's from the comments, so that or maybe it was, there were 10 comments of 80 comments, but there were still 500 people that didn't make any comments at all.
Well, what if we just add to your paragraph the blank out of 520?
But why have a whole big paragraph about parking when we didn't talk about parking in the survey?
Because we talked about this at the last meeting. We decided it was important enough to mention, that enough people cited it that it was important enough to mention. How many people was it?
I just don't want it to come across from that the only comments we got were,
Right.
and like obviously the people who feel strongly, like if we got 10 comments, that's a lot, and we shouldn't.
15?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you read your paragraph again, and I will raise my hand when I think it was.
Although not directly addressed in the survey, the lack of adequate public parking and heavy traffic congestion on Cottage, Union, and Main Streets were commented on enough in the responses that we thought it pertinent to mention.
Okay, so after the word enough, we could put parentheses 15 out of 520 or whatever it is. Out of 529.
And then that shows that here's the sampling, and thank you.
Right, so we worded like 15 respondents of the 529 commented, so it's not, others might think that, but it was just important enough for them to comment on it, end of story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we probably don't need the quotes then.
And I think the quotes are,
Okay.
they support the fact that those people had problems with the comment, but it was no means a majority opinion, it was just a small.
Okay, so then I would vote for the first and third then.
Okay, the first and the third both bring up parking on only one side of Cottage and Union.
And I didn't like that part,
But you voted for them both.
I know I did. The lesser of two evils.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
But traffic problems are causing backups that need attention on Main Street and Union. The rest of them are just very short. They say, need more parking, not enough parking,
Well, anyone else want to weigh in on it?
I don't.
I'm happy with any of those quotes.
That's good.
Then Denise, you pick which ones. Okay, so we're not going to be able
Just
to.
email me that, and then
So then we'll look at this again in January.
So in terms of a strategy for getting this survey out, I mean, is that going to be complicated?
I don't think too complicated. I like the piece that you've done. I think we should save it as a PDF, and we should post it on our webpage and post it on our Facebook page. And I don't remember, is there money to put a little piece in the summit saying it's available?
I thought we were going to try to we're going to do a press release and have a story written on it.
Great, okay. And then so in that story, And in the press release, we will say it is available by download at these places or in hard copy from City Hall. Right? Okay. And I think that's all.
We can publish the little graphs too on the channel.
Great. Okay. Can we do a piece on the channel as well when it releases?
Define piece.
A small video?
Define small.
No, and that's okay then.
No, I mean, I just really want to know, because if your idea is 5, 6, 7 minutes, probably going to say no.
No,
If it's like 30 seconds, then you're probably
30
going to say
seconds is
yes.
fine. I mean, whatever you think is
Okay.
appropriate. I mean,
Yeah, that's fine.
so our next meeting is January 14th, or the 2nd and 4th Januaries, right? Or 2nd and 4th Tuesdays. Yeah, so
Right
January,
away, so why?
it is quite a ways away. Do you want to make the January meeting the 7th? Which is the first Tuesday? We normally do the 2nd
Yeah.
and 4th Tuesdays, but for just January, we could do the 1st and 3rd.
Why is, we're going to publish the survey anyway, in the meantime.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're not.
No, I don't think
I don't think it's ready to be published.
Yeah, because we still
I thought we
haven't.
were giving you the power and...
We were, but then I was rooting for that, forgetting about comments. But I think we should, as a group, we should see the way it looks.
Well, if we can just, if Jamie, you're working on putting out the comments in and doing all these changes, why not just send it out and we've approved it, unless there's something that's wrong, why do we need to meet again?
Okay.
We would just be proofreading, actually. We wouldn't be changing anything.
Well, yeah.
As long as we don't
Right.
change anything, and just...
And if comments went out and I hated one of the comments, I can live with that.
Okay.
I think it's really important for this to
If
go out.
we publish it as a PDF and there was a revision,
We can change
that
it.
would be better.
Okay, well, so then we will have published it by then. So are you guys okay making me be a proxy, just for this particular project? Mm-hmm. Okay, you're okay with that? Yeah. Okay, so then you and I will work together to get this done. We'll send the PD out to everyone when it's done, and we'll go from
And then the
there.
next meeting will be January 14th.
Yeah.
Now, we have an EDIC meeting in 2 minutes in this room. It'd be nice to get the EDIC on board for what we've done, at least to like run through everything with them, so.
I don't think we're going to have time on the agenda to run through it all with them. What I was anticipating doing is giving them a copy, or a couple copies, and describing
Yeah, no, it's not,
high level.
we don't want that up there.
We don't, what Eric said, I don't think we,
I thought we decided we didn't want this hidden until we're done.
I mean, it'd
We'll
be,
take them back. If we need them. But they can look at them.
And they're arriving here, so.
They are right.
Also, a question, for the next meeting, can you throw on the agenda, whether or not LocalWorks should possibly roll back into EDIC?
Yeah, well, did we talk about that last time?
We were talking about it.
We
Yeah,
said
we
we're
were
gonna
sort
bring it
of,
back once you...
yeah, we were gonna,
Yeah, once I become chair, I think we should bring it in.
okay,
Does anyone have objections to it?
okay.
So going back to what we do with the EDIC.
I think it would be poor taste to this committee to publish something as a subcommittee without checking with the committee, or at least showing them what we're doing, or at least updating them in some regard as to where we're at and what's going on. We're not asking them for approval, we're not saying this is, we want your permission. In my opinion, it's like, this is what we've done, this is where we're at, we're gonna publish it January 14th or whatever the date is that we do it.
I think there, we get,
Are we supposed to meet with DP and move
this
to...
meeting's adjourned. Kathy, turn down.
Move to adjourn.
Second, adjourned. Red button.